scrappy friends, welcome back to my channel. Helen here. Today we have Inspiration, the return of Inspiration. Today's Inspiration is this layout by Julie Taylor for the Hey Little Magpie design team, and it's using a collection from Spellbinders, which I absolutely love. I have this collection, and it actually all started from I liked the dies and the stamps, and I ended up with almost all the collection. And when I saw Julie's layout, I thought it was beautiful and I wanted to scrap lift it. So that's today's Inspiration. Before we get to that, if you're not already a subscriber, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you've enjoyed. And if you're not sure what to say, just pop an emoji for the sake of engagement. Photos we are scrapping are my sister and my husband in Florence. We're sat having a coffee stop before the walk up the big hill. Actually it's before lunch, it's when we arrived in Florence. So let's see, emojis for, I don't know, Florence, Italy, coffee. Let's see what you've got. That out of the way, let's get scrapping.
So I'm just showing you here again on my iPad the layout I'm scrap lifting. I'm using Spellbinders Just Sayin. It all started with these stamps and then I just ended up buying the whole collection. So just using some scraps here, cutting down the papers that I want. So that's a torn piece, and then I think I do use different papers overall to Julie. I think she used that dotty piece and then some of these papers, but differently to how I've used them. I do get some offcuts which are going to split around the photo, and I do originally look at using dies to cut some pieces, but at this point my craft room isn't fully sorted yet and my Gemini wasn't accessible. So I rethought using dies, popped them away, grabbed some punches instead. So I get out my American Crafts knockout punches to cut a scallop border, and then I get an EK Success punch, which is a notebook border as well. So just putting the punch together here, that's your punching guides, and then put the actual punch in to the handle, and then there we go. So punching the pink paper with the scallop, and then I am going to trim it off so it isn't so thick, so wide, and then there's that notebook edge punch from the EK Success punches that I will punch the yellowish paper. Just there using the photos as a guide as to where I'm splitting the border punch piece. So I've got a bit above and a bit below the paper so I don't have to punch another strip. And then, punching the other border out there. So the photos are coffee shop down the side of the main cathedral in Florence, and I basically really needed the loo, so we stopped for coffee so I could use the loo, and it was okay coffee, not the best we'd had whilst we were there, but the staff were lovely, very friendly. So yeah, we got some photos sat here whilst we recovered from the walk. It's a very brisk walk with it being with Christine from the train station, and for me to use the loo. And then we carried on walking through Florence after that. So just pulling off some of the word stamps. Now I put 2 stamps per block, so that's why you see I've got the block stood up on their end, just so I'm not having to go in and out and swapping the blocks about. So yeah, I've got 2. I do 2, 4, 6 words, and then the star and heart, and pulling out some Distress Oxide here for stamping. I've got Kitsch Flamingo, I think that's Spice Marmalade. I get Twisted Citron, which is the colour I thought the minute I saw these papers, and I also get Peacock Feathers out, I think it is, yeah, Peacock Feathers. So I'm going to stamp each of the words once in the 4 inks, so I do all one colour first, and then change the colour. So I've just got a wet wipe there, which I'm just going to stamp the stamps off onto to clean them before changing colour. So stamp on the page with the 2 words on either side of the block, clean them off on the baby wipe, and then move to the next stamp, and then there we go, on to the next colour. So I do that with all of the words, just randomly down the right hand half of the page until I've done that in all 4 colours. So they're not straight. Yeah, there's not a chance me stamping these straight, doing them freehand like this. And, just embrace it. A lot of it is going to get covered by the strips down the middle, which is absolutely fine. It's at the end of the day, it's supposed to be something that's creating a background, not a main focal point on the page. So the fact that some of it does get covered by the pattern paper really isn't an issue. I'm just making sure it's not too much covered and you can still see the words poking out, so I'm happy with that. And then I'm going to put the word stamps back on the sheet before coming back over with the star and the hearts. Why I'm putting everything back on at this point, I don't know. I didn't need to. So yeah, just put those word stamps away, and then just going to stamp the stars and the hearts. I do make a bit of a mess with the stars. I don't. I rush it, so the ink's not contacting with the paper for long enough to stamp properly. You'll see from that star up there in the peacock feathers. I'll try to line it back up again and make an absolute mess. I cover that with a die cut later. You'll see in a minute. So yeah, just coming in then with the twisted citron, the last of the colours, and doing 3 hearts and 3 stars in each of the 4 colours. So that's my stamping done. Very messy piece of wet wipe there. So I messed this bit up. I've put the ink the adhesive too far over to the left of the paper, and I can't tuck each of my next strips over. So this does change a little as to how I layer these papers up. This is some ribbon from the Hey Little Magpie. I think it's the April embellishment kit. The April one did sell out. The May one has gone on sale today, at the point of recording this voiceover. So that's Wednesday the 7th. So yeah, the embellishment kit for May is up on Hey Little Magpie now. So yeah, you can see here where I'm having to change how the papers are layered, because I did make that boo-boo with putting the ATG too far to the left on that bottom piece of paper. So I just change up my layers to make them work, and I am happy with how this finishes up. The pictures are laid out differently as to which one's the higher and lower one. The title, for how I end up putting my title, tucks in better with how I have to change how I'm doing the photos. Just using some mini glue dots I've got on my desk to stick this trim down. I just put one behind every few flowers on the trim. There we go. So I've got the right photo high and the left photo low, whereas it was the other way around originally with how I'd done the punch strips. So I'm pulling out now. I'm basically going to pull lots of speech bubbles. So I get lots of speech bubbles out, the die cuts out. I use the chipboard stickers, and I love the chipboard in this collection. It is really thin. And yeah, it's just thin and lightweight. It's it's compared to the usual chipboard you get elsewhere. I do really like how how this is made up, this chipboard. So yeah, going through the die cuts, going through the chipboard, the chipboard stickers. I also bring out the sticker sheet as well in a bit when I am sticking them down, and get some of the speech bubbles off that. Pulling out some of the die cuts, so we're stopping for coffee, so I've got the takeaway cup and the teacup. You know, we can pretend it's coffee, can't we? And then some of the die cuts have made my title there, Hello Good Times. So that heart ends up not on the page. Just pulling out some more of the chipboard speech bubbles there, and I'm going to start sticking it down in a minute, which you will see shortly. So this video is for my weekly series. I took a bit of a break from it. It's Instaspiration, where I am using posts I've saved on Instagram as inspiration for a layout of my own. So sometimes it's going to be a straight scrap lift like this one. Sometimes it'll be an element or a colour scheme. You know, it's whatever, it's however I'm inspired from that Instagram post to what to create. So yeah, just sticking everything down. I put the title up on 3D foam, and I forget to tuck the cup back in until later on, but it does go in the end. So going to had intended on just sticking these where they were, which is why I'm using the wet glue and not the ATG, but I ended up picking them up and putting the glue on, so I've just stuck with the glue. Chipboard glue, for some reason, no matter whose chipboard it is, chipboard glue just isn't very doesn't have much staying power. So that's why I'm putting the glue on all of them. And there you go, I've got one of the speech bubbles off the sticker sheet, just adding that in, and just moving them around. I'm just trying to get some variation in colour, so they're not like all pink or what have you. So just trying to mix it up a little bit on my cluster of speech bubbles. The the flat stickers and the die cut pieces, you can write on them, so that's where my journal is going to go. The chipboard stickers has like a shiny surface, so if you're using, like, do you remember the old American Craft Slick writers, or you know, one of those pens you'd write on a CD with, a Sharpie? If you're using something like that, you could write on the chipboard stickers, but because I only really have a really thick Sharpie, so what I've chose to do is on the chipboard speech bubbles, I'm using word stickers. There we go. I've just realised I forgot to stick the cup down. And then I'm going to write on the other ones. There's me trying the heart out and end up getting rid of it. The word stickers that are on the white base, they end up adding them to the stamping on the right of the page. I've just added that blue speech bubble in just to balance the blue from the blue sticker word sticker I put up near the top, and you can see there's a star there over my messed up stamp star, and I add 3 of the black die cut stars on just to balance that out. Now I'm going to add some of these little really cute flowers out of the Hey Little Magpie April embellishment kit. And then, yeah, stick those bits down and we are done. Here comes the stills and the close-ups. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.